Now we're going to talk about a couple of driving tools that we use quite often, the kids will use quite often. It's tools that they've only seen adults use sometimes, so this is it's a big deal for them. And it's a big deal that you teach them how to do it safely. We're going to talk about pre-drilling first. So I always tell the kids, just like a pilot, what does a pilot do for an airplane? Flies it, steers it, correct? Okay, so we're going to drill pilot holes. It's just like the pilot on an airplane, it's going to guide your fastener, your screw, or your nail where you want it to go. Even if you don't go over driving tools with an impact driver, driving screws with the impact driver, or driving screws with the drill, even if you're using nails for your project, sometimes you'll want to pre-drill. This is called the chuck, this portion of the drill. And notice my battery is out. When I'm messing with the chuck, you don't want to have the kids, because you don't want them to have the battery in and do this, okay? It can be dangerous for them, so I just always have them take the battery out. But this is called chucking a bit. And this is a drill bit. This is a driver bit, okay? Drill bits drill holes, driver bits drive screws. So you place the drill bit in the chuck and turn the chuck. And you can see where it will grasp the bit. Make sure it's in there nice and even. Tighten it down good. Now notice my impact driver here is laying on its side. I always have the kids, when they sit them down there not in use, rather than sit them up like this on the desk, I always have them lay them on the side so they don't fall over. Once your drill bit's in the drill, you have a forward and reverse button here. When you're drilling a pilot hole, once they decide, and it's important, like I said, the screw is going to go wherever you drill that hole. So you're going to pull the trigger, and I always have the kids leave the trigger pulled and just pull it straight out. This is a very important part, though. When they're pulling out the drill bit, they should not pull up this way, because it's going to put a lot of tension on this on the drill bit, and break them. So I have the kids, and a lot of times when I first introduce this tool, is I'll be sitting up in the front of the room, maybe have 2 or 3 different stations. I'll have the kids rotate through, and I'll even hold the drill, okay, and let them just pull the trigger, and I'll push it down, okay, and then we'll go to the next student until they get to where they can safely do it on their own. That's going to make my driving this screw with the screwdriver much easier. When using a screwdriver, one of the key things is that the tip has to match the head of the screw. So if it's a Phillips head screw, you need a Phillips head screwdriver. Very important. And the kids, very important that you stress this to the students, because they'll spend a lot of time trying to drive this screw with the wrong driver bit or screwdriver. So make sure it locks into place. So we'll start it here. And they need to tell them that they need to apply pressure down as they turn, okay? And I like to allow them to use the screwdriver first to drive screws so they can appreciate the power tools. Okay, a couple of those and they're ready to use the impact driver. Pretty simple. Never drill or screw into wood that you're holding in your lap or holding in your hand. You want to use these clamps as we have here to make sure everything's sturdy. This tool is the impact driver. It's a little different than the drill. If you notice, the drill has a dial on it. Now the impact driver is great because it's going to drill and it's going to drive your screw in fast. It has a quick connect. It doesn't have a chuck. It has a quick connect. So you pull this out, take the bit off, sit it down. All right. And then if you want to put another driver bit in, just pull this out. And as long as it has a quick connect on it. Now, if I'm driving a screw in with the impact driver, you'll notice it's faster. Okay, it makes that sound. Okay, you have to be really careful when using this with a project, because a lot of times you'll be using a 1x4 or 1x6 and you'll very easily split the wood. That's why pre-drilling is very important. A better method I like when you're building a project is to use the drill as your driving tool. So, and use the impact driver if you have bits that have a quick connect. Use it to do your pilot holes because it's faster, and then use your drill as your driving tool. So we're going to change this bit and put a driver bit on here. And I teach the kids how to use these settings. Another option is to just have them set on what you want them on and tell them not to touch it. And I would do that with the lower grade levels, but with the 5th graders, I've showed them how to set it. So if I want to drill, I've got my pilot hole here. If I want to drive a screw, I'll put it on 1 and then maybe 3 here. Okay, so once it feels resistance to this gear, if you will, it'll stop driving the screw. Okay, so if you notice, it didn't drive the screw all the way in, so we're going to have to turn it up a few clicks. Still didn't go all the way as far as we want. So have the kid turn it in a couple more clicks. And you want them to get to where they can do this on their own. Almost. Once they get all the way up to 20, the highest setting, then they can shift to 2. And then they may have to back it down a little bit from there, but that should allow you to drive it in. And you want it to stop just flush of the wood. And that'll keep you from cracking a lot of boards and ruining a lot of projects that you wouldn't necessarily have to ruin. These are your best driving tools that we use in the class. Kids love it, a lot of fun. There are a lot more tasks to it, things for them to remember. And practice before you start just letting them go with it. Practice having them take the battery on and off. Practice having them change bits, quick connect to a regular drill bit. There's nothing, just hands-on activities, learning skills that will safely allow them to use these tools. And you should have a lot of fun.